All right, YouTube. So I want to take you through one of the final steps in finishing the paint. At least I think finishing the paint for this car is going to be. So this is the door that I've been working on. I actually, in the last paint that I did off camera, I did not allow the epoxy primer to sit long enough. So in this rendition, I'm going to allow the epoxy primer, I'm gonna hit it with 2 coats, and I'm gonna allow that epoxy primer to sit for at least like almost an hour to vent out all of the solvents that's in that mixture. And then I'll go with the base coat. Same thing over here. And I really gotta pay attention to the gas cap because I have the same lot for the paint. I'm using the same paint right down to the same mixture rate. I mean, as close as I can get it, I guess. But the paint on the plastic piece is different from the paint on metal. And I want to see if I can try to fix that. Hopefully, I painted the back side of this and that paint matches the car. So I'm not sure what's going on with the front side of this gas cap. But I'm going to pay close attention to that. In this spray, I'm also going to paint my caps here for my windshield wipers, the same color as the car, but the windshield wipers itself I'm going to leave black. I'm going to have a little bit of black on the car, not very much. But yeah, so that's the scope of the work here. I'm going to take you along with me, like I said, for this paint spray, very small paint spray, because you've seen it 1,000 times from better paint sprayers. But hey, look. I'm doing it myself, learning this skill, and I'll be able to use it from here on in the future, right? And if you do the same thing, yes, you may or may not make mistakes, but once you get real good at it, you can either make some money off of it, or you can paint your own cars and further progress your projects. So let me show you what we're going to be using. So for the project, I have this Shopline JP375. This is the epoxy primer, and this will be the hardener. This is a 2-to-1 kit, and the special thing about Shopline's epoxy primer is you have to allow a 15-minute induction period. I'm guessing this is some of the chemistry to allow the 2 mixtures to bond correctly and form that layer for the epoxy paint to then be thrown on the car. The kit calls for you to spray 1 to 2 coats, and you would allow that to sit for at least 15 minutes between coats at 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's key. In the garage right now, I think it's 66 degrees, so it calls for 15 minutes or 30 minutes if you do 2 coats at 70 degrees. 70 degrees, 71, 72, whatever that degrees is. The garage is not warm enough, so I'm gonna have to allow the kit here, the epoxy primer kit, to sit longer, and that was my mistake in the last spray. So I'm not gonna make that mistake this time. I'm also gonna make sure that my compressor is actually turned on when I begin to spray, so I don't have those problems with the clear coat running. So without further ado, let's go ahead and build up the paint gun I have over here. This garage is a mess. But build up the paint gun, make sure everything is working and functioning correctly, and then we'll get back onto this, get this all mixed up and get this 15 minutes going. Then we'll start spraying. That's a lot to do, a lot to say, but come along for the ride. Stay focused. It's up here. All right, so the paint gun's all set up, and you want to make sure that you probably can't see this, but the little needle in here is actually locking in with the end of the paint gun, because if not, you'll get leaks, and that's going to show up in your paint, cause you some issues. We have our mixing cup here. I like these because they give you exactly the needed, let me make sure you can see this like I'm seeing this on the phone. This gives you the correct mixing ratios, and you want to use the correct mixing ratios when doing this. This is what I've been taught from many YouTubers, some of them professionals, some of them just like me, just people out here trying stuff. but use the correct mixing ratios. So for the kit here, it calls for a 2-to-1 mix. So that's what we're gonna do. 2 parts of the primer and 1 part of the hardener. I believe this kit, I got 2 of these, 2 primers and 1 hardener. It was like $140 something. Not bad, not bad. So we're gonna go ahead and mix that, and we'll continue. Let me find the stuff to open it. Kind of think I want to get some gloves. I'll be right back. If you've been painting for a while, you'll know that painting, your hands, they just get covered in paint and solvents and whatnot. So it's very good to have some gloves. And yeah, so I want to mix this up a little bit so that all the materials are there. And reach up here, grab this. Put that back. All right, so mix this in. Mix pretty well. But you don't need much. We're only doing 2 sprays. All right, so now what you'll do, you'll come down here, you'll find the mixing ratio that you want. Like I said, this calls for a 2-to-1. So we're just gonna pour 2 parts of the primer. I'm gonna go to the 2 and try to stop it right on that 2. Bang, that's good. Right? So leave that there. Put this cap back on so that we don't get any spills. And we'll tighten that down a little bit. And then we're gonna go 1 part to the primer, to the hardener. And that goes, let's say, here's that 2. It'll go to that 2 right here. And you're good to go. Simple as that. And you mix it well. Just line it up, bang, good to go. Yeah, random folks are showing up at your house. Weird. All right, so you allow this to mix for, or you allow it to induct for 15 minutes. I'm gonna pour it in the sieve over here, and then we're gonna let it sit for 15 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and get it ready. Pouring it in here. Right? So let that do its work. Drain on out. All right, so what you want to do for this, you press it down, make sure it's in on all ends, and you want to lift up on it to make sure that the lid doesn't come off, and then you're game to put on your locking ring. Just like that. Then we're gonna put on this little cap to seal it, and that's good for just 15 minutes. All right, so it's been 15 minutes for that to sit. Make sure that you have yourself some, lung protection. and that you're not breathing in these harsh chemicals, because they are chemicals at the end of the day. I'm going ahead and slide mine on here. I need to take the camera off to get this on, so hold on. All right, there we go. So, make sure I can get this right, because I can't see. I'm not pulling my phone out, and it may be hard to hear me because obviously I have a mask on. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wipe this down one last time to get any contaminants that may have gotten on there when I had the garage door open. First time, so you can just wipe this down real quick. What I'm using as a degreaser, so this is my degreaser. Odom eliminates odors, heavy duty purple degreaser. I use this in some parts of water, and this is what I use to degrease it. It works really, really, really well. I suggest you try it. You can get it at Walmart, I think. I'm only gonna spray this in the rag, and then I'm just gonna wipe. Like so, and that's clean. So we need this. We need to take this off. This goes up like this. Fits into place like that. Pops over. Now we just need to run this over to here. Now I like to do a little test. Turn. Okay, so now we're going to begin. So we got to let that dry. So we don't want to start yet. Now let that dry out, and then we can start. Okay, let's do it. 50% overlaps is what I've learned. I'm going to try to hold true to this. 50% overlaps. Starting off the edge. There, that'll help with that. No! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Just damn it! Woo. All kinds of mistakes. This one's gonna cost me too. This one's gonna cost me. Ay, ay, ay. All right. Come back and hit it with one more in about 15 minutes. We'll be good. Stay focused. All right, so it's time for that second spray. After my failures here, it looks to be all right. I mean, it's just a cover, so I'm not super upset, but you know, you kind of want things to work out, so it's like, come on, man. Like, I'm trying here. Why are you giving me all this slack? All right. So, I let that sit for almost 20 minutes. Almost 20 minutes. So, 25 minutes, maybe even 30. So, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to shoot it, and I'm going to let it sit for almost 30 to 40 minutes before I spray the base coat on this thing. And I'm probably going to go through and wipe it down too. So give me 1 second. Just going to try to wipe off any of the little nuggets showing up, like right there. Wipe that off. like that. All right, so this is the Stealth Gauge paint I picked up from Custom Paints out in Florida. Shout out to them for sending out this paint. I paid full price for it, non-disclosure. They didn't send it to me for free or anything like that. But I'm just mixing it up here. This paint calls for a 1-to-1. So you're gonna come over to your one spot, 1 part paint, 1 part reducer, and you're good to go. So let's do that. I'm gonna go 1 part paint. I'm gonna go up to the 2. We'll go to the 3. We'll go to the 3. Okay, that's enough. Alright, this is the last little bit I have of this paint too, so I really got to make sure I get this right. And then I have very little reducer left as well. I got to get it right this time, otherwise I'm in trouble. All right, there goes that. And then we just mix it. Mix it all in, mix it up real good. Just like Chia. All right, and I'm gonna grab a strainer, pick these up from Harbor Freight. And you're gonna need a top, and you're gonna need a cut bottom. And that's the process. All right, so let me set this down. It's over here. Set that down there. Open this up. Drop in our fitting. It's already mixed. You could mix this in here, but for me, to be honest, this is really hard to understand. I don't know if you can see that. This is really hard for me to understand. I don't know what the mixing ratios are. So, it's right here, 2 to 1 to 1. But yeah, I for the life of me don't understand this. I guess I can learn it, but this is so much easier. So I'm using this, and I've always used this, so it's just easier for me. And you always want to use a strainer because you'll get stuff in your paint in the gun, and like you see that right there, I already got stuff in there that was left over from this cup. So always strain it. And then, you know, this thing already has a strainer on it, so this is getting strained again. So like I did before, you want to press it down on all sides, pick it up to make sure it doesn't come undone. And then you can put your ring on. You have to go back to set it, and then forwards. Since we're not going to be painting for another couple minutes, put a cap on it. Let that sit. We'll be back in a while. Stay focused. So you can see, this is what it all looks like. Let me take this off, because I can breathe now. So here's what it looks like. Pretty decent. Oh, I need to charge. Thus far, looks pretty good. See ya. So we got an issue. We got an issue, and it's a big one. I'm not gonna be able to complete the paint project. I'm not gonna sit here and just drag this out. So, for some reason, this is turning out well. It would have turned out well. For some reason, this Cobalt Quitec system has been giving me problems as of late. I need to call in because I definitely haven't had this for 3 years, I don't think, but I need to call in to get it a limited guarantee warranty. I don't know. I forgot when I bought this thing, but I don't think it's been 3 years, or maybe it has. I'll call them anyway. So the regulator actually popped out. All the air went to the sky. And I'm glad that I was paying attention to the pressure at the gun because I didn't have anything. I mean, and not to mention, when I came to look over here, if you look real close here, let me try to get real close. See that right there? That is some wrinkling. It's very subtle. If you come out in the light over here, you can see. And like this one right here, it's very subtle that you can see it. Is it enough to warrant me sanding this again? I believe so. I believe it's gonna warrant me to sand this all the way down to bare metal one more time and build this back up, because I just cannot stand that in the paint. But I mean, I can't do anything right now because I don't have a compressor to paint with. So this is another bit of wasted paint due to problems unknown to me. But I guess it makes sense because of the pressure issues I was having and whatnot. It kind of makes sense now. Well, I wish I had more better news for you all, or this triumph of repainting to finish this build, but it looks like the focus is not letting it go that easy. So, stay focused.